Hi, and welcome to GCTV. I'm Jonathan Shannon. Our guest today is the new Associate Dean of Industrial Technology, Mr. Rhom. Welcome, Mr. Rhom. How are you?
I'm doing quite well today. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you very
Awesome.
much for asking. So tell us a little bit about what brought you to Gaston College as a student.
Well, back in the 80s, in the early 80s, my father and I used to get out in the shop and tinker around, and we did a lot of modifications to cars and building things and fixing things, and so that just kind of stirred in me, and he mentioned that Gaston College had an automotive program. So whenever I graduated from high school, I enrolled in the program and completed the course and the associate's degree and went out and started working in a dealership, and then eventually I became an independent owner and working for myself. And it's been a successful career.
That's great. And what do you teach now?
Well, funny you should say that. Years later, while I was still working for myself, an opportunity came available, and that opportunity was a position here at Gaston College teaching automotive. So I always go to people and I tell them, you know, my vocation is my avocation and my hobby is my job. And I applied for that job and filled out my application, turned in my resume, and a few weeks later I was given a phone call, and 20 years later I've been an instructor here at the college teaching automotive systems technology.
Great. And what are your favorite things, the most rewarding things about teaching?
That is what embodies being a teacher. Getting to witness my students' growth, and ultimately when they graduate and they get to follow and be successful in their chosen career. That is the most rewarding thing about teaching, and especially teaching here.
Okay, great. So you're the new Associate Dean here. What are you hoping to accomplish?
Well, the list is long and distinguished. One thing that I would like to start with is really to increase the visibility of the Industrial Technologies Division.
Right.
We offer a lot of things, and I just don't think the people are aware of the things that we do in our division. I'd like to start with the schools, public school systems. You know, if those students, once they start being tracked in the 9th grade through high school, if they don't know about your opportunity or what you offer, then they're not going to pick you. So I'd like to start in the public school system and then kind of filter out from there, move from the public school system to go out and strengthen. The next thing I'd like to do is strengthen the instructors' knowledge of their content, allow them to go back to school for training for themselves, and to try to capture trends. You know,
Right.
Sometimes we get in a box where we're at and we don't really look outside of our box.
Right.
So if we're not outside getting training of our own, then we don't know what new technologies are coming down the pipe. So we need to have our instructors get out and receive that training, so that way they can become aware of the new things that are happening, so they can engage in that and bring that into their classroom. And then another thing that I'd really like to promote is, if our students don't have jobs, then we're not doing our job. So the other initiative that I would like to pursue would be to work hand in hand with potential employers of our students. If, say, Stablis or some other business, Freightliner in our area, they need to know that we have machinists that can come out there and do machining. They need to know that we have electricians that can come out and rewire the plant. So if we make those vital connections with the industries that are out here in our community and surrounding areas, then they can hire our students. So that kind of all works hand in hand. We need to be visible, we need to have instructor training, and we need to work with those industries that hire our students.
Okay, great. So, you know, where do you see the department heading in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, we need to be looking at getting deeper into electronics and automation. If you go into a car manufacturer today, you'll see robots, and the robots are doing all sorts of things. They're welding, they're moving parts from one place to the next, conveyors. So that encompasses everything that we have and offer in the Industrial Technologies Division. We have automation, we have electrical, we have machining. So those things that are already here but are just developing at a rapid pace. So that means in the next 5 years we need to be embracing that advancements in electronics and automation. So in the next 5 years, that's the direction that we need to be heading.
Okay, great. But what are some of the challenges you're facing in the STEM field these days?
Well, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That is the key to opening the door for an industrial technology division. We need to have instructors that are knowledgeable in the STEM field. They need to have a strong grasp of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And that goes back to the last question, one of the last questions that you gave me. Where do I want to see us move in the next 5 years? We've got to put our instructors in that training and provide those training opportunities for them. Because if we don't have knowledgeable people in those programs, then that aspect of STEM is not being growthed. If our instructors have a roadblock, we need to be able to tear that roadblock down so that way they can go out and teach these students what they need to have. That's what STEM is all about, is getting in there and getting your hands dirty in that technology. And it comes in different multiple forms. Like broadcasting, I would consider that part of the STEM because you guys deal with a lot of technology and a lot of electronics. And so if we don't have knowledgeable people in those fields, if we can't put knowledgeable people in those fields, we're going to struggle. And then that part of putting those people out there is they got to have training on a continual basis.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for joining us, and
Anytime.
thank you for watching GCTV. Have a great day.